appears out of nowhere, standing impossibly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Eek! Hello. Yikes, you scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she... Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confused at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited his Sal for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food? Or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the room while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us up here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered on the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath my feet. I peek through the chain link fence, which isn't sturdy at all, to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of a big metropolis seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depends on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't had time to think about how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow on the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries a scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow, and produces 1 big and 2 small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Sal, what are you waiting for? She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself in the corner of the bench, take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places the lunchbox in front of Rin, and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch as promised. Homemade no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, I make them myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I settle about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food with her mouth, using her only her feet. Even though I've never seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sight such as this? I can't decide if I'm getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to a place mean that I'm giving up and becoming a normal person? Or does it just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. Oh, she loves swallowing. Oh! My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great, because then I burn through lunch pretty quick. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choke on my lunch, trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my questions. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. Compliment each other. Like shoes in a suit. Huh? Emmy giggles on my confusion. Put us together and we've got all our limbs. Get it? Ah. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of? This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find the whole thing funny. That combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms, so putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just going to stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps a equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of the box and begins to drink. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Sal, how do you like it up here? It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch, too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin. Pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time, too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve! She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. I'm suddenly insulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding! I was kidding. I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location and the company's okay, too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. Oh, I just realized I can talk to virtual girls better than I can to real girls. God, that's just screw my life. I guess this makes us friends now. I can talk to girls, just not get beyond friends. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling the return downstairs. Ren, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat anymore, you're going to fade away. Ren shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we better get going. The three of us head down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking aside, I see that there are as many students here as there were on Tuesday. All is more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. As I drop the books I borrowed into the return slot of the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging that makes as they hit the trolley next to her. Ah, sorry Yuko, didn't mean to startle you. No, that's fine, it happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you? It's okay, I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the library, it's become a hard habit to break. I don't really want to break that habit. I'll wander down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I do, I look over the counter where Hanako has been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it, and she's there. Surprisingly though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk out to the counter check out my books, and pop them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. I guess I need to buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches to try and stave off the tiredness that accumulated over the week. After passing through and rounding the corner, though, I see a solitary figure walking downhill towards the small town below. The color of her hair and tapping of her cane are unmistakable. I quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without word needing to be said. Hi, Lily. This music's kind of like getting a little loud. I did turn it up a little. Still seems loud, but whatever. Hopefully it's not overlapping my voice. She takes a moment to place the voice slightly on, adjusting her head to face a bit towards the source of my voice as she does. Hisao? Yep, that's me. She seems to have a good memory for voices. The fact that she actually remembered is a pleasant surprise. Good evening, what brings you here? Once again, she gives a small polite bow. And once again, I reply in kind before realizing I need to do so. Just going into town, you? My, what a coincidence. Doing the same thing, eh? I usually go shopping on Fridays. She pauses for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost. That said, Hanako usually comes to town with me. Ah, not lost, but worried. The two do seem to be pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprising that Hanako would just forget Lily like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably just got caught up in a book. She lets out a small sigh of relief. Thank you, she has a habit of doing that. Avid reader? Right, she doesn't like being around crowds of people, so reading away from everyone lets her relax a bit. Although she probably didn't intend it, I can't help but grimace as I recall the first time meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we quietly continue to walk down the quiet road. Tack, 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 tack. With the roads bereft of cars and students Yamaku increasingly far behind us, the quiet rustling of the leaves and the measured tapping of Lily's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle of where I used to live. But I know it. I've relaxed so much that a loud yawn escapes before I can control it. Tired? Yeah, I've been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement, to be sure. Transferring to a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this. Well, hopefully everything should settle down for you. This festival's got everyone in spin right now. You've been plopped right in the middle of things. For a moment I hesitate, but given her apparent tolerance for frankness, I decide to give her my full thoughts. I guess Yamaku's kind of different, though. I mean, the formality surrounding everything, the isolation around it, not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset. I suppose I'll get used to it, though, in time. I'm going to stop here. Hey, Lily! Bryn. We're recording quite a bit. God damn, music. The volume doesn't seem to do much. But yeah. So, thank you guys for watching, and hey guys, welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. It has been quite a while since I've recorded this. I decided I'd finally go back to it and record because, you know, I love this. As I've said so many times before. Actually, looking at the save state, God, I've been playing too much Mario RPG. But anyways, looking at the save file, March 25th was the last time I played this. As you can see, some of these were saved, you know, in February. And, I guess I oversaved over the ones. But, I mean, yeah, this series, I haven't done this in a while. I have a bunch of them saved up. So, I think I'm gonna schedule upload, like, a shit ton of them in one day, you know? Why not? That'll be good. So, anyways, let's get back into the fray. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. I don't even remember. I can scroll back. It's kind of a whole different mindset, I suppose. I'll get used to it, though, in time. Okay, there we go. So, he was discussing how it's weird at this school. Music just seems overpowered. it's like all the way down in the options, so I just turned my computer volume down. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. It feels almost as if she's included me in the flock of students she's shepherding, along with class 3-2 in Hanako. Well, not that I mind. It's nice to get my... Wow. Literally the second slide in, and we're already fucking up here. It's nice to get the thoughts off my chest in any case. Looking on the bright side, one could see as a chance for a new beginning. You should cherish the ability to make new friends. That's optimistic. Nonetheless, it's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess that's a good take on it. Walking on down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled. Before I can ask what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speak up about something else. So, where in town were you going? That's actually a pretty good question. I'd come in to buy food, but the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I had intended to just wander around and see what I could find, but with sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. I'm going to have to ask her for directions. Again. I was just going to get some food, but now that you mention it, I don't really know the way. Well, now that is quite lucky. I was just about to go to the convenience store myself. Looks like I'll be in your care again. Then, thanks. Together we walk to the store. My pace is carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to her usual walking pace, hers is my usual walking pace. Hers is quite a bit slower. Not that it's without reason. After what couldn't be more than several minutes, I catch sight of our objective. This town really is pretty small. Without further delay, we make our way inside with a greeting from the counter. Mind if I tag along with you? Usually Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here, it takes me a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she wouldn't be able to read any of the labels, shopping without any help would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling that she'd had this idea since I said I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. I grabbed 2 well-used red baskets from a small stack besides the entrance, handing one to Lily. She lays it on the ground, putting her school bag in, retracting her cane, and sliding it through the basket's handles before picking it back up in her right hand. Wait, if she doesn't use her cane... Before I can complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform in her slender fingers. Is this alright? Ah, sure. I have no reason not to accept. I could think of worse things than shopping with a pretty girl holding on to me, even if it is out of necessity. See, good thinking. We navigate our way through the store, and with not one of the occasional passing customers seeming to bat an eyelid. Considering how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for the local residents. As we reach each aisle, I quickly check with Lily and find out what she needs. I grab it along with what I'm looking for, put our items into their respective baskets. I guess this is the same routine she and Hanako follow every Friday. Right. All that's left is the bread. What should I... and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lily? No, this should be everything. Off we go then. With a quick side trip to the